Hello guys, my name's CL Creech. I'm the author, creator, and publisher of One Last Quest. I keep hearing from a lot of people that they want to read my book, but they just don't have time. No excuses anymore. Here over the next month, at one chapter a night, you're going to get to hear One Last Quest read by me, the author. Who better to read it, right? You can pop YouTube on, lay it next to your bed. Some of these chapters are short, most are fairly short. So maybe wait a few days and listen to a bunch at once. That's up to you. It's your thing. Live your life. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Tonight we're doing the introduction, which is everything up to chapter 1. I do have this pulled up in my Kindle reader, so if you want to read along, full screen this and feel free to read along with me. One Last Quest, C.L. Creech, independently published, copyright 2020, Christopher L. Creech, that's me. All rights reserved. The characters and events portrayed in this book are fictitious. Any similarity to real persons, living or dead, is coincidental and not intended by the author. No part of this book may be reproduced or stored in a retrieval system or transmitted in any form or by any means electronic, mechanical, photocopying, recording, or otherwise without the express written permission of the publisher. Again, me. IBN, imprint independently published, cover design by Kendra Miller. You should have seen the cover design in the intro. She is fabulous. Printed in the United States of America. I proudly dedicate this book to all who are brave enough to be who they're meant to be. There may be those who reject you for being who you are, but know that your bravery and courage in being yourself is an achievement in itself. Whether transgender, a nerd, or something else, you are truly unique, and this story is dedicated to you. Even the largest, meanest fire-breathing dragon isn't as scary as real life. Isn't that the truth, folks? The next couple of things are the table of contents, which I hope you guys are okay with. I'm going to go ahead and just skip over. Introduction. Thank you so much for taking the time to read my story, or in this case, listen. What you're about to read is a passion project that's taken me almost 2 years to create. One Last Quest originally began as a movie script that I hoped to self-produce. Unfortunately, I was never able to secure funding. I attempted to shop the script around to a few independent production companies, but I wasn't able to secure a deal that I was happy with. Over a year after I completed the first draft of the script, I finally decided to turn my story into the book that you're about to read. Now, I've spent the last several months devoting the majority of my free time to working on this. It's truly been a labor of love. The original idea for this story came from a couple of places. First and foremost is my personal struggles with my own sexual identity. Around a decade ago, I did something that in my heart I always wanted to do. I cross-dressed for the first time. This would eventually lead me to occasionally performing as a drag queen. For the first time in my life, I looked in the mirror and saw myself as beautiful. It was a very eye-opening experience for me. I've spent the last decade in a constant struggle to figure out if I was actually transgender, something I still struggle with to this day. I feel alive and free as a woman, but there are times I still feel the need to be a man. I think the truth of who I am is somewhere in between. I live in a small community in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains. I knew in my heart that I could never really come out as transgender fully to my community. I'd seen others that had, and I saw what they had gone through. Due to other personal struggles in life, this is something I wasn't ready to deal with. To this day, there are still friends and members of my family that have no idea what I've gone through. In fact, they may be reading this they may be finding out for the first time by reading this. My fear of coming out and the rejection I'd ultimately have to deal with is what led me to create the character of Michelle. While her story is a work of fiction, her feelings and worries are something I've dealt with for a long time. Now, as you read the story and see her struggles, I hope that you'll be able to empathize with her, as it will not only help you understand me a bit more, but others that struggle with similar issues, and possibly even yourself as well. The other place the story came from was my love of tabletop gaming. I won't mention the specific game, but I will say that it involves dragons and rolling dice. For most of my life, I've had a love for role-playing games. I could be whoever I wanted to be and do whatever I wanted to do. There were no limits. Over the last 10 to 15 years, I've been running my own games. I became a game master and created fantastic worlds for my players. Through this, I made a lot of great friendships and became substantially closer with my other friends. I found that in the busy, chaotic world we live in, that it helped to have a weekly outlet for us to forget the outside world and for a few hours live in a world that only existed in our dreams. That's how I combine the two. For me, it was only a dream to live as the person I felt like I was meant to be. In the game, you don't have to be masculine or feminine. It's okay to be a strong male warrior, or it's okay for a strong male warrior to wear a dress or makeup. It's okay for a female to be the strongest and toughest of the group. Now, the latter, uh, as you'll notice, was where I found the inspiration for the character of Jackie. Now, after a while, I decided to try to start coming out. I started to wear dresses and makeup, or I wanted to wear dresses and makeup in public, but I was rejected. I was quickly rejected by many. This caused me to run back as far back in the closet as I possibly could. That's when I realized I had been coming out to the wrong people. After a particularly long gaming session, I sat down and had a private talk with my best friend Dustin. Excuse me. He could not have been more accepting and supportive of who I am and who I wanted to be. He encouraged me to start living in a way that made me feel good about myself and made me happy. Now, when I say Dustin was the inspiration for Danny, I really mean it. That day, he helped heal my heart, as he continues to do to this day. He is truly a healer. I eventually came out to the rest of our core gaming group. I can't tell you the fear that went through my heart as I explained my personal quest to them. I was sure they'd reject me. Instead, they encouraged me. To this day, they regularly reach out to me to check on me and help on my journey. Unfortunately, I had to delay my full coming out. I was in a very bad relationship and eventual marriage. I felt that my wife was very manipulative and tried to break me down on a regular basis. She claimed to be supportive, but would then threaten to out me to my friends and family when she knew I wasn't ready. It sent me even further back in the closet. Thankfully, that relationship ended for good earlier this year. I've now surrounded myself with positive people who encourage me to embrace my true self. They've helped me learn many of the lessons that Michelle has to learn in this very story. It can be scary to release something inside of you that you've kept hidden for so long. That's exactly what I've been trying to do. The story you're about to read is both my personal therapy and my way of coming out. I hope that as more people read this story, that I can finally find the acceptance that I've longed for so long. I'm hoping that I can finally walk out in public in a way that I feel comfortable without the fear of hate or rejection. I also hope the story will inspire others to come out as well. If this book changes one person's life, then it was well worth all of my time and hard work. I've been in very low places where I felt like the world was against me, and I've had nobody to turn to. It was hard for me to realize there are people that care. Maybe someone reading this is in their own dark place, and it'll help them reach out and find those that love them. Believe me, there are people that care, even if we don't always see them. I ask from this point forward that you open your minds, open your hearts, and enjoy the chapters that follow. Revealing my true self to the world is my greatest and most difficult quest. What's yours? And whether this is as far as you listen, or if you keep going, I'm going to read the forward by Dustin, and then we'll stop for today. So that's something I really want you to think about. I put that question there at the beginning for a reason. In this, you're going to see a very difficult quest for the 5 characters in this story. But is it their most difficult quest? It could be. But in your life, what's been your most difficult quest? Hope you think about that as we move forward. And then speaking of forward, here's the forward written by Dustin Fields. This is in Dustin's own words. C.L. Creech is a dear friend to me, someone I've grown up with and learned a lot from. His life, let alone this book, is an amazing journey. The story within this book is one of the most inspiring and enduring tales, a must for all to read. I met CL when I was 12 years old, and he has proven time and time again to be the most amazing person I've ever met. I consider it an honor and a privilege to know him, and above all, I hope that you, dear reader, are as captivated by this marvelous story as I am. This story is about a group of friends whose love for one another stands the test of time. Proof that you do not have to be blood related to be family. I provided C.L. Creech with the inspiration for Danny, and I could not believe how closely Danny and I resemble each other. A perfect portrayal of myself as a fictional character. Being the inspiration for one of the main characters in this story means the universe to me and always holds a special place in my life. So sit back, grab a snack, and settle in for a gripping comedic adventure about a group of friends and one last quest. Every time I read that word, it gives me chills. We're going to stop here for today. I know these videos are not going to be long. They're all going to be short, but you're getting one a day for the next 30 days. Hope you enjoy, and hope you like tagging along as the Adventurers of Greythorne go on their one last quest. See you same time tomorrow.